What's up, baseball family? How are you? Welcome to this Thursday Night Live. I'm Brig. I got Mr. Brad Man here with me. How are you, Brad?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, actually. How are you today, Brig?
I'm terrific. Just terrific. Baseball is in October, Brad.
Yeah, it's a little odd that there's no baseball today, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree with you.
I'm not quite sure what to do with myself this evening and
Yeah.
tomorrow night. So
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel. Let me just get these notes pulled up right now. What we're going to talk about today, obviously, is playoff baseball. The number one thing that we want to get into is recapping the wild card. But before we do that, I want to let everybody know that sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity. I think we can all agree on that. And what we wanted to do is connect you all with an opportunity to get started or get ahead if you're already in sports betting. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the simplest way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, which is signupexpert.com/baseball, you'll be connected to all sportsbooks in your region along with a review of each platform and that platform's unique benefits. All of those sports books, they have valuable sign-up offers for new users. And when you register through the Baseball Together link, you will automatically receive the top offer for each one. When you use multiple sports books, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. So if you want to take advantage of these benefits and support the show, sign up for your next sports book at signupexpert.com/baseball. As always, there's a link in the episode description. Brad, the wild card series, I feel like, was wild and crazy, and I was surprised by a few things. Were you surprised by anything?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by what went on. One of the things I was mostly surprised about was that it it wasn't as wild as I was hoping, right?
Yeah,
Like it was, there was some wild and crazy stuff that went on. And there was some, like you said, unexpected stuff that went on. The Rangers beating the Rays. You called that. I wasn't expecting to see that. The Twins beating the Blue Jays the way they did.
All right. Yes.
The D-backs beating the Brewers the way they did. And then also the way that the Phillies just crushed the Marlins. Like, there's your recap right there, pretty much.
I thought the Phillies would just beat the crap out of the Marlins, but I also think that they're about to get ground pounded by Atlanta. So it'll be interesting to see if we're right continuing. So the first question I have, I agree with everything you said, particularly about Minnesota. I feel like they came out and played a different brand of baseball than I've seen from them most of the season. Now, that could be by virtue of my not paying very close attention to Minnesota baseball, or, and just having a general understanding of them and the team, or this is a new gear for them. The pickoff attempt by Sonny Gray, it was just out of this world.
That was next level. Like, that was not something that I would have expected from him. Absolutely on brand for Carlos Correa. And I don't know if he's the one who called it, and if he's the one who was like, look, we got an opportunity, let's take it, right?
Yeah. Well, think of the three, like, you have to have at least three people involved in calling that. The catcher can call it. The pitcher has to be aware of the signal, receive it, and indicate that it's going to be the play is on. Or you can be the shortstop in Correa and call for it, and then make sure it gets relayed to the catcher to then relay it to the pitcher, and then he has to signal that he understood and he's willing to play the game. So like imagine the potential for everything going wrong, and it didn't. It was amazing.
And it was close too. Like, did you see the replay on it? Because the
Yeah.
Blue Jays challenged because Vlad
did.
was certain that he was safe, that he beat the tag, and it was so close
Yeah.
that if he did miss the tag, it was not evident, right?
Yeah.
Based
I
on what we
agree.
saw with the camera angles and everything that was available there, that
Right.
there was one that made it look closer than the others, but the
Sure.
rest was
I
like,
agree.
but yeah, you know.
Yeah. So the Twins have ended a 19-year postseason losing streak. They last won a postseason game in 2004, and they last won a postseason series in 1991. Holy cannoli!
When they won the World Series.
Right, that's right. So Brad's not going to complain about the Mariners ever again, is what he's saying.
At least for a couple minutes.
Yeah, for like the next 20 minutes, you're not going to do that. So I think the talk of the town right now concerning that series is why Jose Barrios was removed. He was taken out of a tie game in the fourth inning. He'd only throw 47 pitchers, runner on first.
And he
And
struck
then
out 5 guys, Brig. He
I
struck
know.
out 5 guys out of 9 outs that he'd recorded.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Then Kikuchi gets brought in and gave up a couple of runs, which was plenty. And definitely, obviously, that sort of, I don't know, was it predetermined? Was this?
It had to have been predetermined. It had to have, like, the front office. I'm assuming the GM and John Schneider got together and they were like, okay, look, if Barrios gets anybody on after 3, we got to pull him. Kikuchi was up warming in the bottom of the 3rd. Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Was
I
it
guess it
that
would
far
have
in
been top. It
advance?
would have been before that inning. He wasn't.
Really?
That wasn't a rushed warm up job for Kikuchi. No,
Right.
he was, because that would have been the bottom of the 4th. I think he was warming up in the top of the 4th or the bottom of the 3rd.
Wow.
One of those two. He
I
was
didn't
getting
catch
ready in the
that.
pen, and they were ready to bring him in. And they even asked Schneider about it between innings. They said, "Are you going to keep Barrios out there?" And he said, "Well, obviously in a game like this, you've got to." Basically, you got to empty the tank and pull out of the stops, right? Like, he said all the things that you say, all the
Right.
cliches in this situation. But he didn't really address Kikuchi potentially coming in. He didn't say anything like, well, we've kind of got to have a short leash on our pitchers today to keep everything in order. But sure enough, he did. And I think, honestly, that was what lost in the game.
I do too.
Like, there were a couple close calls later, like Vlad Guerrero getting picked off. Like, that's just,
that's just
I don't even want to say they caught him sleeping. That was just an outstanding move, outstanding play that got a guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
But the other one was the Matt Chapman foul ball.
Yes.
It was foul by about a foot with the bases loaded. Would have cleared the bases, most likely. Been a double for Chapman.
For sure.
And kept things going. Instead, the very next pitch, he grounds into a double play, inning over, and they're out of it.
But that's just baseball, though.
That's baseball, Susan.
That's just baseball, Susan. That's not even there's no decision making that can go into making sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Though. I think the Barrios move is what lost them the game. That's the only discernible detail that was a decision making factor that had any sort of tangible
it had
result.
a direct effect on runs being scored too.
Yeah, that's the thing. It blows my mind, and so everybody else is up in arms about this, and I don't know that there's any way to do it. So despite the talent, the Blue Jays have been swept in the wild card round 3 of the last 4 years. They did not make it in 2021. So what do we think about that?
I saw a Blue Jays fan on X. This is the weird thing, Brig. I don't follow anybody who I know like outright as a Blue Jays fan on that app. But for some reason, they show up in my timeline all the time complaining about Vlad Guerrero and Alejandro Kirk and Alek Manoah all being out of shape. And then after this game, they're saying, you got to blow it up because this team isn't going to go anywhere. And I don't know if the answer is necessarily blowing it up because, like you said, there is a ton of talent on this team.
Yeah,
absolutely, a ton of talent on this team. Or fire the manager, fire the GM. Somebody's making decisions that aren't working out. I know that they all like Schneider, right? After last year, they made that run after Montoya was fired, and made the playoffs. But Phil Nevin only lasted a season and a half, and maybe there's a reason why some guys, weren't the first choice for manager to begin with.
Yeah. Did you see Vlad Guerrero's comments about as long as we beat the Yankees, everything's okay? I'm still taking the season as a win. You see that?
No, I didn't. But
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
I'm
parody.
sorry,
It's
Toronto.
It's a joke. It was from a parody account. I had to
Okay.
see your reaction.
Okay, I was
so
like, oh my
everybody
gosh, I'm
knows that's
sorry.
not
I'm
what he
sorry,
said.
Toronto fans.
But it was hilarious, and the parody account comes through. I think it was I don't remember.
Was it Facts Sports?
No, but it was one like Facts,
Like the Porch
like
or whatever.
New York. It was the New York parody, New York Sports Review, or I don't remember what they're called. Anyway, it was hilarious. Okay, let's move on to the Rangers over the Rays. Dude, I cannot, first of all, get over the fact that the attendance problems. I can't.
Oh, it's unreal.
I cannot get over it. They had 19,000 people in the stands. They could have gone 40,000 people.
Did you hear what the ESPN broadcaster called it?
No,
He said, I can't even call it a crowd. The group here is displeased
yeah,
with what
the
they're
group. I did hear that. The group. Oh man.
The thing that's funny is I was watching that game and I thought that I had heard him say that while I was watching it, but it didn't like register. And then I saw it on social media later. I was like, oh my gosh, he did say group. He called it a group instead of a crowd. That is so funny.
So the
Our
game
gathering of like-minded folks.
Yeah. They have a quorum,
Yes. Barely.
It was just enough for a jury. Okay. The game wasn't even competitive, both games really, but the first one was absolutely abysmal. In game one, they committed 4 errors, did the Rays. Committed 4 errors. They could not get anything going offensively in either game. The postseason losing streak now extends to 7 games, which is the current active longest losing streak in
That's crazy.
Postseason across baseball. 7 games now. The Rangers scored 11 runs on 21 hits, and Jordan Montgomery and Nate Eovaldi both just crushed it. And I did not think Montgomery had it in him because I bet against him, and I lost that parlay because of that one leg.
I hit that leg.
You did.
Because I had the Rays 5 or more hits against him, and he gave up 6.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was cheering every single Rays hit. Like, for me, there's one. There's
it was
2.
Like, I think the leg I played was like 4.5 strikeouts or plus or minus, like above or below.
Oh,
and I said he's
under,
not. I called the under, and he struck out, I think, 5.
Yeah, the one that actually beat me that day was Corbin Carroll not getting a stolen base.
Right, I played that one on a.
And
different...
he got caught stealing.
Yeah,
it's like, man,
he did get caught stealing. It was a great throw and everything. Let's move on to the D-backs. Well, first of all, we'll talk about the Rangers in a minute. Let's move on to the D-backs really quick. The D-backs erased deficits that they came under very quickly in both games. I feel like they just refuse to be demoralized, and they're just resilient, I guess is the right way to say it.
Right.
Corbin Carroll is the man. He retains the position as the man. Very likely and very deservedly will win the Rookie of the Year award, and I would be shocked if he didn't.
I'm pretty sure he's still minus money on that award break. I'm going to double check what you
You're
talk
probably
about this.
right. So he brought the D-backs within 1 run with a 2-run home run in game 1, and then Ketel Marte tied it by going back to back. So game 2 sparked a go-ahead rally in the 6th with with a ground rule double. Excuse me. That led to a game-tying double by Ketel Marte in the next at-bat. The 2 back-to-back in the lineup worked really well against the Brew Crew, and so it'll be interesting to see if they continue that, and they very
sure they
will.
Why fix it if it ain't broke?
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. So let's let's see. Did we get everybody?
Well, so real quick though,
Phillies,
Brig,
but go ahead.
The thing that's crazy about this, so Council is out of the playoffs, and you had talked a few weeks ago, a couple months ago maybe, about how there's a good chance that with everybody going to the Mets, Council could be one of them. So
yeah, I think
so far all the other dominoes have fallen. Do you think he gets a call like tomorrow, or do do they wait until the division series is over?
Oh no, they calls text messages have been exchanged. I bet you.
Yeah,
Like
there
it's
probably won't
only
be an announcement.
Thursday. It's
Yeah,
not.
there probably won't be an
yeah,
announcement though until after. I bet it's after the World Series is when we get an official announcement though.
I'll bet you're right. But it is going to be abrupt. They're not going
Yeah.
to wait, I think. And then the catcher sustained an injury protocol. Gabriel Moreno
Oh yeah.
went under concussion protocol rather because he got hit on a backswing in the head, the top of his helmet. And I wonder what that will do for the D-backs in the division series.
They're
because
significantly better when he plays.
They are, and that is the problem. So
Yeah.
that is going to be an enormous factor. Not that their backup is bad per se, but Gabriel Moreno he's legit.
Yeah, he is legit. He's the real deal.
Without
sure.
him, we're going to have a problem. Okay, Phillies over Marlins. Phillies, I mean, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It was just
They handled them.
unbelievable.
They handled them.
Yeah. It
And
seems like
this
that's
is the
not
thing though, is
strong
that
enough a
and
verb.
they should have though, right? Like
Right.
the Marlins had a depleted roster. They were on their number 3 and number 4 starters by the time they got to these games because they were down Sandy Alcantara and Yuri Perez, right?
Yeah.
And then Luis Arias was playing on a hurt ankle that he's been dealing
Yeah.
with for quite some time, right? So
Yeah.
I don't want to say this is the picture of who the Marlins are. The Phillies probably would have won this series anyway, but I think it would have been closer.
Sure.
Had their
I can see
3 of their 5 best players been available.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Josh Bell did his job. 4 for 8, 1 run, 1 RBI. We should have seen more from Jorge Soler, Jazz Chisholm Jr., and Brian De La Cruz, but we didn't.
I was really disappointed with Brian De La Cruz because he had a good year, and actually, like because of the way he played, earned me quite a bit of money.
Yeah. So, oh, nice.
Yeah, that's why I know who he is.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
The real story though is Bryson Stott's huge grand salami in the 6th inning, game 2. Brad, did you say you heard the Philly crowd all the way in Phoenix?
I did. I wasn't even watching, but I knew something was going on in Philly. I was like, whoa, check the game. That's what I heard. Holy cow. All the way in Arizona.
It floated through, through the
through the ether. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Made it all
right.
Phoenix.
That's awesome.
Crazy, man. Nuts. I love how crazy that crowd goes when something like that happens. And players just feed off it. It's a ton of fun.
It is so much fun. It's a great atmosphere. I can't wait to be. I wish I could have been there, honestly, because it would be awesome.
I could be part of it someday.
Brad, yeah, you will, buddy. You will. Okay, Brad, the Mariners are making the news again, and for all the wrong reasons. And we would like you to walk us through this as the resident Mariners fan.
Okay. I was going to stick this to like only playoffs, right? But this was so egregious, I had to put it in here, Brig.
Okay.
Like, so bad. Okay.
That's fair.
So they held their end of season press conference on Tuesday, and Jerry DiPoto straight up brought barbecue sauce, put it on his foot, and then inserted it firmly into his mouth. Okay. So he's the president of baseball ops. He was there.
Yeah.
New GM John Hollander was there, and manager Scott Service was there, and owner John Stanton was standing in the back. Okay. Would not get in front of the cameras. Everybody said that he was there, but he would not speak.
Right.
And I'm sure this is probably why. So here are some of the lowlights from this press conference that are drawing. I've seen drawing the ire of Mariners fans, but people are angry, like flat out angry after this.
It's not ire. Ire's not strong enough. Yeah, no, they're livid.
Livid, yes. So one of the things he said is focusing on winning a World Series every year can leave a team, quote, stuck in the mud. Now, I understand that, right? That does make sense. That like focusing on winning a World Series, you can kind of be stuck. But you know where you're stuck, Brig? Typically for focusing on winning the World Series every year? the playoffs. Somewhere the Mariners
was
have only been
gonna say.
once in the last 22 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I will take that over what we've had to deal with in Seattle. Okay.
No doubt.
The other thing he said was, we're actually doing the fan base a favor and asking for their patience to win a World Series.
Nope.
Excuse me? I'm in my 30s, and you want me to continue to wait for the Mariners
Yeah.
to even make the World Series, much less win one? Brig,
That's
I've gone on the record in the last year and a half and said that I would trade the Seahawks Super Bowl for a Mariners pennant. Pennant, Brig. A pennant.
A pennant.
And he wants more patience.
Yeah.
And then he said that he's playing a long game and trying to win 54% of games during a 10-year span to eventually get a World Series. Okay. Now, if you got a 540 winning percentage, you're winning 87 games a year. 87 wins a year is not enough to get to the playoffs in the competitive AL West or in the competitive American League in general.
It's exactly.
So if you're shooting for 50, and I get it. It is an aggregate total, right? Some years you're going to, he even said some years are going to win 45%, some years are going to win 60%. I get it.
Yeah.
But maybe don't share that little bit of information with people and instead say, we're going to do the best we can to have a sustainable winning team to get this team to the World Series. Don't say, you need to have more patience. No, I don't.
No, that's bad.
You came into the 2023 season saying the goal is to win it all. Don't tell me to have more patience. And then today, on Thursday, he went on the radio and he clarified and he said that he was embarrassed by misspeaking. And I think that's what it was that he just he's trying to say one thing, but it came out terribly, right? We've all been there. We can't act like we haven't.
I feel like I'm probably the reigning champion until yesterday.
So what he said was he's shooting for, and like I said, shooting for 54% over 10 years. What that means is sustainable and incremental improvement every single year to average 54%, a 540 winning percentage over 10 years, because that is what the Astros and the Braves have done to get to where they are and win a World Series. And the Astros case, 2 in 5 years. So that part I get, but man, the way that it came out sounded so bad. I was like, get out of here with that, man. I'm done. But I don't know. I thought that's what I heard at first, but then I saw some other stuff that I was like, wait a minute, no, I should be really angry about this.
Yeah.
I'm not angry enough.
Wait a minute.
But I did understand it the way he meant it. And so I don't know. Things are still not super great because Dylan Moore actually is in open revolt against the front office, joining, I think, Cal Raleigh in his stance, saying that stuff needs to be done, that there need to be moves made, because he actually liked a tweet, or an X or whatever you're going to call it. Right. It said, this is from John Boy. It said, over 10 years, we want to win 50% of the time. What? Nobody has ever judged a team by that ever. You're just creating safety nets for failing seasons and telling the fans, don't worry, we're smarter than you think. Dylan Moore liked and reposted.
Mm-hmm.
So the players are not happy either.
No. And just for the record, it's not isolated to Seattle. Aaron Judge has said very similar things in the last few weeks. So
there's a lot of frustration with teams that I think have come really close, who should have made it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, listen up, baseball family. We always want to know what you think about the topics that we bring up on the show, and now you have a quick and easy way to share your thoughts with us. Because we have partnered with VersusGame, we bring you games where you can make money from participating in trolls. Some of them are trolls, I guess, but you can participate in polls, trivia, and other predictions. And if you're on the winning side of a poll or a trivia question or a prediction, you can win real money. You can also play for free. You don't have to spend any money on it if you want to, but you can buy ticket bundles and play against other users and other listeners of the podcast, and that does increase your chances of winnings. So go over to VersusGame. That's going to be btpod.onversus.com on your mobile browser. Sign up and play our polls and trivia games. That's btpod.onversus.com. Sign up and play right now, and we have some stuff up there right now. So
I think we're going to have trolls up this offseason.
We should have some trolls.
Yeah,
We
we're
should.
gonna have some trolls. That'll be fun.
We should do a trolls versus Billy Goats thing.
We should.
I had to explain that to just a couple of 7-year-olds the other day. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
They live here, so they get all kinds of crazy, It's good.
Very fun.
All right, let's talk about the division series. They are here. They are exciting. They all start on Saturday. All right, so all American League games will be on Fox and FS1, depending on the time of day and also who's playing and all that. All the national games will be on TBS, which is also a little bit weird. I wonder if that has the Braves have anything to do with that or whatever.
I don't know. Probably. I just think it's weird that playoff games are on cable.
Yeah, they should be on
satellite, right?
network TV.
Yeah, they should be on network TV because ESPN finally got around to putting games on ABC.
Yep. Yeah, the last what game was it? But it was on ABC and ESPN. It was like ABC pulled the ESPN feed. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. Yeah.
Okay, all the series will start Saturday, October 7th. I think the first game's at 1 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. But we will get into that.
I can check it right now.
Rangers Orioles 1 p.m. on FS1. Brad, will you toss some more of those dates on there while I get into this?
Yeah.
Dates and times. Okay, so let's talk about the Rangers at the Orioles. Okay. So this is the first time Camden will have held a playoff game in quite a while, and it's very exciting. Neither team has been to the postseason since 2016. We are at this point still unaware of who the starting pitchers will be on either side. They have not yet been announced, but it is speculated that Kyle Bradish will start the game for Baltimore. We'll see what happens with the Rangers with Texas. Okay. The runs per game breakdown for the Rangers is 5.44. That puts them third. The Orioles runs per game is 4.98. That's good for seventh. The starting pitching ERA across the team, the Rangers have a 3.96 ERA, and I'm going to pull up this graphic we have here actually that talks about it. So Orioles versus the Rangers. Oh, we did it
at the same time you did.
Yeah.
There we go.
So here's your fancy pants graphic for those of you who like fancy pants graphics. Okay. The Orioles during the regular season, just as a reminder, had 101 wins, 61 losses, 807 runs, 183 home runs, 114 stolen bases, collective batting average of 255, an OPS collective of 742. They worked 512 walks, and they were good for 1,370 strikeouts at the plate. Their team ERA is 3.89. That includes relievers and starters, and their run differential 129, fun differential 1,052.
Very precise. Well done, Brig.
I think it's important.
It is important. And the Rangers won 90 games. They lost 72, scored 881 runs, and hit 233 home runs, stole 79 bases. This is the thing that I like to look at with these teams is they're so vastly different offensively. The Rangers are just going to hit it out of the park. But the Orioles are going to be like Novocaine, and they're just going to keep applying, and it's eventually going to work, right?
That's right.
Just on Remember the Titans. Anyway, the Rangers collected batting average of 263, OPS of 790, drew 599 walks, and struck out 1,416 times. Another stark difference there between these two teams.
Yeah.
Orioles are not going to strike you out. And this is the problem. I think this is going to be a problem for the Rangers right here. That collective ERA of 4.28 and having to start with their third starter in their rotation against the Orioles.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
The Orioles have a huge advantage here. And then run differential plus 165. It blows my mind that it's still that high after losing as many games as they did in September and the way that they did.
Well, that's how good they were through early dog days. Yeah, it was especially in that June time period, June, July, before the All-Star break. It was really, they were really good. And then in August, they were scorchers.
Mhm.
So it was just that last little bit in September that they took a dive. But
Well, no, it was August because when the Mariners were surging, the Rangers were not. The Rangers were losing games,
That's
and that's why
true.
the Mariners were able to close the gap and be in first place September 1st.
You're right. That was in
So
August.
August, September, they were really not good, but
Yeah.
like you said, that's how good they were early.
Right. And I wonder, and I want your opinion on this. Do you think they'll be that good going into the playoffs?
I don't know. It's hard to tell who this team is going to be because they hit the Rays well, but the Rays also have not been themselves,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Their defense was bad, straight up
Yeah.
bad against the Rangers. The pitching just was not great. I still don't know which Rangers team is going to show up to
Right.
the
And
division series.
we wanted a litmus test with Tampa Bay, but we didn't get one because it was so skewed, it feels like. So we don't
it
know
really
what we're
was
going to
skewed.
get.
So wonky.
Let's move over to the other American League Division series, the Twins versus the Houston Astros. This is going to be Saturday, 4:45 Eastern Time. Now, the Houston Astros throughout the season, 90 wins, 72 losses, 827 runs, 222 homers. They stole 107 bags, collective batting average 259, collective OPS 768. They worked 550 walks, 1,241 strikeouts at the plate. Team ERA 3.94, run differential 129, fun differential minus 70.
You should put that on the graphic next time.
I should. I really should. I'm just spitballing these fun differentials.
But the Twins. So the Twins were 87 and 75, scored 746 runs, hit 188 home runs.
Yeah.
A team that has set the record for home runs in regular season. Well, before this year.
In the past, yeah.
Yeah. They don't hit a lot of them anymore. Don't steal a lot of bases either. 99 stolen bases, 256 collective batting average, 746 OPS, 550 walks as well. That's fascinating. Struck out 1,303 times, 3.78 team ERA, and a run differential of 75. So we talked about this Twins team that we saw against the Blue Jays was not the Twins team we saw in the regular season or would have expected from these numbers. Maybe the ERA, the team ERA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
But the rest of it felt like they kind of outplayed themselves. And I don't know if the Blue Jays were not throwing. I don't know. Their pitching has not been what it was, right? The Blue Jays. So I don't know if the Twins just exploited that, if they knew what was up or what. But man, A-Rod was talking about, was it this game that A-Rod and Michael K had? This game, series. Yeah. They were talking about somebody's Gosman's splitter.
Right.
They weren't swinging at it.
Nobody was.
Flat out. So, and he was.
Well, and
he's
did
like,
you
I'm not
see
saying
Sonny
anything
Gray?
nefarious? Well,
Yeah.
A-Rod was like, I'm not saying anything nefarious, but he might be tipping his pitches, and if that's what's going on, you're not going to stand a chance in the playoffs.
It's true. Did you see Sonny Gray's backdoor breaking ball though?
Oh,
it was just unbelievable. I was like,
it was money.
I turned it on. I was probably a little bit late. I was like middle of the first inning or whatever, bottom of the first. And I turned it on and I watched that thing slide in. And I went, "Whoo! Holy crap! Did you guys see that?" And everybody was like, "What happened? What? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "That was amazing." I think.
Yeah, he was dealing.
He was dealing with the wind up, and I was like, "Holy crap!" All right, he was dealing. So, yeah. Anyway, the point is, what I want to say about this, as far as like analysis and preparation, is that with the way the Houston Astros sort of tailed off at the end of the season, it also is going to be interesting to see how the Twins, who are playing out of their minds as of the last couple of days, are going to go up matched up against Houston, who has all the potential, all the power, all the capability, all the experience, everything you'd ever hope for, they've got. But the Twins showed us a whole new thing. And so I don't know what to expect at this point. I don't know.
Well, and the Astros have the benefit of have the advantage here as far as the pitching staff goes. They can go 1-2 right out of the chute, and that's going to be a huge advantage for them.
I agree.
So because once you get to 3, 4, 5 for the Astros, it's not as good.
Right.
So if the Twins can steal one in Houston, which is what you want to do anyway.
You
I
have
think
to
they'd have
do
a
one.
legitimate shot. But if
Yeah.
if they don't take one in Houston, then
It's going to be tough. It'll be
Yeah.
really, really tough.
Yeah.
All right, let's go move on to the Phillies. They're going to play the Braves. They're going to have a interesting weekend. And I hope it's not as dramatic as we're making it sound. Like, we just for the
right.
record,
I would
we
love to have a
want
good series. I
competitive
just don't think
baseball.
it's going to be one. I
Right.
mean,
I just
it's
think
all
it's worth.
relative, right?
We need to alibi that because we want competitive baseball. We don't want anybody just get rolled over. But the Phillies will be in Atlanta. 6:07 p.m. is the start time on Saturday. Still, we don't know who the starting pitchers will be on either side. The Phillies, 90-72 in the regular season, 796 runs, 220 homers, 141 stolen bases. Teams average 256 at the plate. OPS is 756. They worked 539 walks, 1481 at the plate. Those are strikeouts, 1,481. The team's ERA is 4.02, and they have a run differential of plus 81, which is about where their fun differential is.
Approximately, yeah.
Approximately.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Braves won a whopping 104 games, 104-58, scored 947 runs, hit 307 home runs, stole 132 bags, had a collective ERA of 276, an OPS of 845, drew just 538 walks, Brig, just one fewer than the Phillies. Struck out only 1,289 times. And then this is really going to be their weak spot, Brig.
Tell me.
4.14 ERA.
Yeah, but they have so much run support. Does it even matter?
It doesn't matter. That's why it hasn't mattered, because they can just go out there and be like, oh, we're up 6. Okay, we'll give up 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's how they play, but at the same time, though, they've got a plus 231 run differential and a fun differential of about plus 1,500. So
yeah. I just looked it up because I was curious. The 947 runs in the regular season by this year's Braves. And I wanted to know, what is the record for runs produced in a single season by any team? It turns out it's the 1894 Boston Bean Eaters. They had 1,220. So then let's move it into the, a little more
era.
recent. Yeah, the modern era. We have to go to 1931 to get to the modern era. And that's the New York Yankees 31 team. They had 1,067 runs. They also occupy the three places in a row. One in 31, 36, and 30, 1,067, 65, and 1,062. There, boom, 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 boom. It's just interesting. But
lest we forget about the Boston Bean Eaters, Brig.
Right. The Phillies are on there, but it's 1895, and they're at 1,068 total. So just they're also.
I don't think there's anybody from that roster playing this year for the Phillies. So.
Well, you never know. Okay, maybe that's how the Fanatic got there. Maybe he's just reincarnated over and over. All right, let's move on to the Dodgers and the D-backs. This is going to be fascinating. But they play 9:20 p.m. Eastern time Saturday. I'll run down the Diamondbacks. 84-78 during the regular season. 746 runs, 166 homers, 166 stolen bases. 250 at the plate. That's the team batting average. Their OPS is 730 collectively. 540 walks. This team struck out 1,247 times at the plate. 4.47 team ERA and a negative 15 run differential. And they're positive in the fun differential category. They're probably up in the 200, 250 range, I would say.
I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So you have Clayton Kershaw going for the Dodgers. I'm gonna guess Merrill Kelly going for the D-backs.
Mm-hmm.
Is my prediction. That hasn't been announced, but I'm assuming that's who's going to go for the D-backs.
Yeah.
So for the Dodgers, though, you've got a record of 100 wins and 62 losses, 906 runs scored, 249 home runs walloped, 105 bags stolen, a team batting average of 257, an OPS of 795. drawn 644 walks, struck out 1,359 times, a collective team ERA of 4.06, 207 run differential, negative 75 fun differential.
Yeah, you right. I've never seen a team make winning look less fun.
It's very business-like. Yes, taking care of
Yeah.
business.
And I'm a Yankees fan, so that is
Yeah,
saying
you're right.
a whole lot. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right there.
Oh
For
man,
sure.
it's so funny. Well, so we haven't seen the Dodgers play this postseason. They feel like a steamroller, and I was really impressed with the Diamondbacks. And I have to punch my ticket really quick and pat myself on the back by saying that I said the Brewers would lose because they consistently perform at this level every year, and they consistently lose at this stage, about this stage every year. That's exactly what happened. So I'm going to high five myself really quick, but then tell you that skews our understanding a little bit again at how they will play against the Dodgers, the Braves, or the Diamondbacks will. But I have a ton more faith and confidence in them going into the LA series, having watched how they handled themselves against Milwaukee. How do you feel about it?
So this is my thing going to this, Brig, is that we saw a Diamondbacks team that was way worse than this one. We saw them beat the Dodgers in person.
Yes.
Twice, right?
Yes.
Did we see 2 times? Yeah, I think we saw 2 or 3 times last year where a team way worse than this beat them. So there are weird things that happen with division rivals in the season, and there are even weirder things that happen with division rivals in the postseason. So we could very well see an upset here. I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case, but I don't want to say I'll be shocked if it does happen. In fact, I will be pleasantly surprised because I am cheering for the Diamondbacks this postseason.
I am too. Yeah, I am too. Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the broadcast schedule for the division series. So the first games will be Saturday, October 7th. Again, Texas at Baltimore, game 1 will be on FS1. Then it's at 1 p.m. 4:45 p.m. also on FS1, Minnesota at Houston. The Phillies will be in Atlanta. Game 1 will be 6 p.m. on TBS. Game 1, Arizona at Los Angeles, 9:20 p.m. on TBS. These are Eastern Standard Times. Okay. Saturdays, 2 games on Saturday. You've got Texas at Baltimore.
Sunday, 2 games on Sunday. All 4 on Saturday.
Sunday.
2 games on Sunday.
Thank you. Sunday, October 8th, Texas at Baltimore, 4 p.m. on FS1. Minnesota and Houston, 8 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Then you've got Monday, October 9th, will give us the National League games. The Philly-Atlanta game will 6 p.m. TBS on Monday. Arizona in Los Angeles, 9 p.m. TBS, Eastern Standard Time. Then we've got 2 games. The American League plays on Tuesday. All 4 teams play on Wednesday on the 11th.
All 4 series on Wednesday?
All
if
4.
Necessary?
Well, if necessary. So the National League will be playing their final game 3 unless they need more. This will be game 4 on Wednesday in the event that they need a game 4. And then Fridays, if necessary, games 4 for the National League. Games 5, if necessary, in the American League will be Friday the 13th. Game 5,
spooky.
if necessary, will be Friday or Saturday the 14th in the National.
That's a lot of information. Let's just take it as we get to it.
I think you're right. As I got about halfway through that, and I was like, what am I doing? But I committed, and I had to keep going.
You were committed to the bit. That's right. Yeah. But baseball family, thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us live. We see those of you who are here. We appreciate it for you jumping on the show with us. But playoffs are in full swing. We're through the wild card series. We're on to the second round of the division series. It's going to be wild and crazy. I think there will be at least 2 upsets, 2 series that don't go the way we thought they were going to, and it's going to be pretty crazy. I'm very excited, as we say, about it. But baseball family, we will catch you on Tuesday with the big show.